Hello, wrestling fans. I'm back once again with Amy. Say hello.
Hello.
And this time we're going to be talking about Raw's 999th ever episode and also the upcoming 1000th ever episode. So let's get straight into the card, shall we? First up, we started with CM Punk and Big Show's promo. What do you think of this?
CM Punk and who?
Big Show.
I just thought, I don't know, I didn't really understand it very much. It wasn't really that interesting to me at all. I can't really remember very much of it.
Yeah, this seemed a bit out of the blue, like they've not really got a program going. Big Show's just turned up and I think they're trying to run a storyline where he's going to try and be the voice in John Cena's ear saying cash in the money in the bank, cash in the money in the bank, pin CM Punk while he's down, etc, etc. I think that's where they're going with this. So it felt a bit strange how they started off the show announcing that they're going to have a Big Show CM Punk match at the end. Then we had a tag titles match. We had Kofi Kingston and R-Truth with Little Jimmy, of course, against the primetime players of Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. Now, seeing as it's the two guys' names are Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, do you not think a better name would have been Titan Young? I think that would have been...
No, I don't think that.
I think that would have been a much better name for them rather than the primetime players.
That sounds awful.
They could have called... They're bad guys though, don't forget. So they could have called the bad guys Titan Young, you know, a bit of a pervy edge to them.
That's very pervy edge.
And but anyway, the tag team champions, Kofi Kingston and R-Truth, ended up beating Titan Young. I personally thought that the primetime players, they're awful, aren't they? Titus O'Neil is one of the worst wrestlers I think we've ever seen in the WWE. That even includes the likes of Great Khali, Vladimir Kozlov, Zeus, for example. I'm really glad that they're no longer number one contenders and that R-Truth and Kofi Kingston have sort of fucked them off. What did you think of this match?
I like Kofi Kingston and the other one, I can't remember his name, so...
R-Truth.
Yeah, the one with jeans.
Yeah.
But I thought they were interesting and fun and they had some good moves and things. I didn't like the purple underwear things.
Titan Young.
No, I didn't like the clothes they were wearing more than what they were doing. I just thought it was a bit...
And what about AW who was on the outside? He had the microphone.
Oh, the guy with the comb?
Yeah.
I didn't really see the point of him. Like, you had to tell me that he was their manager person. I didn't get that from it. I didn't understand why he was there.
Yeah. What they do is, like, with managers, is that basically they employ them, well, they use them as characters to like, help the wrestlers who can't talk on the microphone, and he's somebody who's supposed to be someone who's really good at talking on the microphone. The thing is, they gave him this live mic so you can hear him over the commentators and hear him in the live arena, but he doesn't really do a job of like carrying the match and making the fans really want to hate his tag team. They sort of have nothingness towards him.
I was kind of indifferent towards him.
Anyway, next up we had a good little moment. We had Heath Slater. He's on this little run, remember, that I was telling you about, where he's facing old wrestlers.
Yeah, I remember.
And he was against Rikishi. Now, what do you think of Rikishi in this match?
I thought he was quite entertaining character. Like, I remember him now I didn't remember the other guy's name. But I thought he was quite entertaining. He had some entertaining moves. It's a nice and short match, so it was good for me.
What do you think of the stink face?
Is that when he wiggled his bum in his face?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was quite funny at the moment that it was in. Thinking back, that I just...
Well,
I didn't expect it. It was something unexpected, so...
Yeah, something that... God, sorry.
So yeah, I enjoyed it because I didn't expect it to happen, so I found it quite comical. Yeah,
it's something that like people who haven't been watching for a long time don't know of, basically, because Rikishi, the last time he was active in the WWE was about 2002, 2003, so it's almost a decade gone since he was active in the WWE. I thought it was a nice little touch how he did the Samoan spike, you know, an homage to his brother Umaga, and then he did the bonsai drop, and obviously an homage to Yokozuna. They didn't mention it on commentary, which at the time I thought was a bit stupid. Like, they could have mentioned this, they could have made it a really good feel-good moment, but in hindsight you realise that they don't really want to highlight the fact that their former superstars have died, and especially the way that they did with heart attacks, and it's not a good image for the business. So the fact that they didn't mention it isn't too bad, but yeah, I thought it was a really nice little touch that they let him do that. And Rikishi won the match, and it was nice and fun, I thought. I enjoyed seeing Rikishi back again. And obviously, I like Rikishi because he sent me a signed autograph picture through the post for free. So that's always good. Then we had a tag team match. Miz and Eve versus Daniel Bryan and AJ.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I thought it was kind of obvious from me, who wouldn't find anything obvious because I don't follow wrestling. But I thought it was obvious what the outcome would be, and I kind of predicted the whole engagement thing as well before it happened.
Yeah, it's not really. I don't really understand what's happened with this. Obviously, somebody's going to interfere in their so-called wedding next week, and at the time when they announced that they were going to get married, I had turned to Amy and said, "Oh, they're going to do a SummerSlam wedding to go back to Macho Man and Elizabeth's wedding at SummerSlam 1990 or 1991." And then, about, half an hour later, they announced that, next week they're getting married, and I thought, that's a bit of a quick turnaround, isn't it? I mean, they've only got engaged, they weren't even together yesterday, so...
I know it's meant to be unbelievable, but it makes it a bit too unbelievable for me, I think.
Yeah, you can't suspend your disbelief, that's the whole point of it, isn't it? Anyway, Miz, he's back. One of the things with the Miz is, I didn't get to do Money in the Bank per-view review, because... I was with Amy and I watched the show, she fell asleep. And it was too late, I didn't want to wake her up, so I thought, we'll just review Raw 999. Miz returned, and I found it very interesting the way that they panned to the crowd, and only the members of the crowd who were cheering during the Miz's return. Now, obviously, the Miz is a bad guy, and you would have thought that they want to just show people booing him in the crowd, whereas it was the total other way around, where they were only showing the people in the crowd who were cheering for him. Now, this leads me to believe that they want the audience at home to cheer for him, thus turning him into a good guy, which would make sense because he's just finished filming The Marine 3, which is one of the WWE's films, and it'd be good for them if, like, the main character in it is one of their wrestlers who's a good guy. So coming up to the release of the film, he may become a good guy. But at Money in the Bank, I thought it would have been a very good time for them to turn him into a good guy, turn him into a face, and have him win the title, but they didn't really pull the trigger on it. They didn't have him win it.
Yeah, because I seen that bit and you told me that you thought he would win.
Yeah, John Cena ended up winning it in bizarre circumstances, but I'll get onto that later. But yeah, Miz in this match, he sort of had a bit of a flirty bit with AJ. Do you remember that, where she sort of...
Yeah, the eye thing, I kind of picked up on that.
Yeah, where she drop kicks him out of the ring. So this sort of leads me to thinking that maybe next week what they might do is they might have Miz interfere in their wedding, which doesn't really make sense because he doesn't really have any history with AJ whatsoever. He's got a little bit of history with Daniel Bryan from when Daniel Bryan first debuted in the WWE. He was on this program called NXT, where you have a rookie and they've all got a pro, and now Daniel Bryan was the rookie and Miz was his pro, which was ironic because Miz obviously has been in wrestling a shorter time than Daniel Bryan. It was just Daniel Bryan had only just made it to the WWE. Daniel Bryan was widely respected as the best in the world, but Miz was just another WWE superstar, as they say. So yeah, that's a bit strange. So yeah, they might do that. Eve's been getting in the face of AJ, so maybe she'll get involved, and maybe she'll want Daniel Bryan because she's been a bit of money, and trying to get around a bit. Yeah, they're getting married next week, so that's going to be interesting, I suppose. Then we had Ryback versus Jack Swagger. Do you remember anything to do with this?
No, I don't remember this at all. I remember who Ryback is.
Yeah.
Because of an earlier match, but
yeah, Swagger dominated him at the start, and it was weird because they let Jack Swagger do his finisher on Ryback, which is the gut wrench powerbomb. But as soon as he'd done that, they let Ryback get back into it, and then they countered it. So they're probably leading into a bit of a feud where Ryback's going to face him at SummerSlam, which is the next pay-per-view, or maybe at Raw next week, and this will be Ryback's first real win against an established proper wrestler, because Jack Swagger's a former world champion, so if he beats him, it sort of puts Ryback on the map, because at the moment they've just been putting him against local wrestlers who aren't actually like WWE contracted guys. So putting him against Jack Swagger's basically a step up. Next up, Ziggler promo with Vicky Guerrero, where Vicky Guerrero was just saying everything that he said after him. Do you remember that? Like, Dolph Ziggler would say something like, "I'm better than Bret Hart," and she'd go, "Bret Hart!"
That made me really hate him more.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the point, so.
Yeah, and then Jericho came down and they had a bit of a promo back and forth, and Ziggler was basically saying, "Oh, when was the last time you won an important match?" And I think this is leading towards Jericho turning face. He'll turn into a good guy. The fans will all get behind him, and hopefully Ziggler will overcome Jericho, beat him, send Jericho packing for a while, and Ziggler will get that rub, be made to look a bit more important after beating Jericho, an established wrestler, a proper world-class talent, and this will make Ziggler look even better now he's got that SmackDown Money in the Bank briefcase. Next up, Brodus versus JTG. This is where you fell asleep. She fell asleep during this match. Brodus versus JTG, a quick squash match, nothing really exciting. Brodus Clay wins. Hooray. Next, CM Punk versus The Big Show.
I was asleep.
You were asleep. This match was kind of interesting. At the end, Big Show got disqualified because he pushes the referee. This saves them from making the Big Show look weak by making him lose, and it saves them from making the World Champion look weak by having him lose. Punk gets the win by disqualification, like I just said, and then John Cena comes down with his briefcase, and all the way through the show, Big Show had been talking about, cashing the briefcase, cashing the briefcase. So he finally comes down, he's running with the briefcase, and John Cena's got the microphone, and he tells everyone, "Oh, I sent a tout out earlier now." I'll talk about tout in a second, which really annoys me. I'll talk about tout in a second. But I sent a tout out earlier, and I said I was going to give you a message about this Money in the Bank briefcase. And then Big Show says, yeah, we all know what you're going to do. You're going to cash it in now on CM Punk. He said, "No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it now because he's weak. Next week, one-on-one, we're both going to be fresh. I'll face you for them. I'm going to cash in my Money in the Bank briefcase, and we're going to fight each other for the World Wrestling Entertainment title." And then he goes, "On to my announcement." This is my announcement. He runs over and he smashes Big Show in the head with the briefcase, and Big Show falls off the apron. Anyway, touts. Tout is this new WWE thing where they're asking people to send in 15-second videos. Now, I do these videos on the internet all the time. As you can tell already, we're at 11 minutes 33 seconds. So for somebody to just give an opinion in 15 seconds is...
I like it.
I don't, because I think it's pretty stupid, in complete honesty. Because, well, people can... They're asking people to message in, but they just want to hear what... They just want people to say what WWE want to hear. They're not really interested in anything else. Like, for example, if I said, "Oh, I think John Cena is crap and he should do this," they're not going to wear that. They're going to only hear people who say, "Oh, I think John Cena's really great when he debuted and he was awesome and he did this funny thing and he hit Big Show in the head and stuff." I think it's really cheesy and really crap, and I don't think it's going to catch on. During the show, they said that for next week we can vote on what title match we want to see next week. Do we want to see a US title match, an IC title match, or a Divas title match? Well, the WWE Universe voted in mass, and we're going to see an IC title match next week. Christian is going to defend the title, and I don't know who Christian is. No. I personally don't know who I want to see Christian facing next week, so that's going to be interesting to see. And I've got a list of things that we're going to see next week. I'm not going to show you this first. What do you want to see next week? Because she actually told me that this is the first ever episode of wrestling that she's watched where it's made you want to watch again next week.
Yeah, I think it was just the whole... I was quite interested in the engagement thing, just because from a girl's perspective it's well, and to a boy's, but to be a bit sexist, I found it more interesting to me, to have that sort of backstory, and more interesting than people just arguing with each other. And obviously something was going to happen in it as well. I didn't think it would go to flow from how it was portrayed, so I think that I'm quite interested to see how that turns out.
It feeds into the soap opera aspect as well, doesn't it? That they want to do to catch in new fans such as yourself. That is something that's going to hook you and say, "Do you know what? I want to watch for this next week. I might only watch it for 15 minutes, but at least I'm going to watch this 15 minutes. And during that, there might be something else that I like that'll make me watch next week." And it's a good little thing that's working. And again, it also hooks in the diehard wrestling fans such as myself, who really loves Daniel Bryan as a wrestler and wants to see more of him on my TV. So it works all around. And AJ Lee, I think she's going to be a really good women's wrestler in the future, and she's really got the makings of it. She's a decent in-ring worker, and she's got a good character. She's made herself the female focal point of Raw, which is really good for someone as young as her and as unestablished in the business as she is at the moment. Anyway, I've got a list of stuff. We've got CM Punk versus John Cena next week. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I was actually. The way they did it was really interesting to make it. I don't know, I think they've really hyped it up to be a good match as well, instead of, what's his name? The one that's going to fight CM Punk? Cena. Instead of Cena just coming in and cashing it in when he was weaker and things, because that doesn't really go with his character anyway, because he's obviously meant to be a good guy that wouldn't do that.
this is one of the things that I think really benefits from the Money in the Bank concept, is that a lot of people over the years have just cashed it in, and it's sort of like annoyed the wrestling fans. That like, oh, I'm sick of the Money in the Bank, because people just, it makes title changes look weak, and it makes the titles seem less important if you can just win it just by turning up and picking it up. And it's something that, when they do it like this, and if John Cena does win it, it'll make his character look that much more important. The fact that he cashed it in advance, he didn't just cheaply do it. He came to him and said, listen, I could beat you right now, but I don't want to do that. I want to face you mano a mano next week, let's do it. What I think is going to happen is The Rock's there next week. The Rock, when he left, said, I want to be the WWE champion again. And he sent out a tweet a few weeks ago saying, I'm going to be at Raw 1000. I still want to be the WWE champion, something along those lines. Now, what I think is going to happen is Cena's going to beat CM Punk, and they're going to do a quick turnaround, and Rock's going to say, Cena, I want to face you at SummerSlam, because SummerSlam's the second biggest show of the year. How many times do I talk to you about WrestleMania, because that's the biggest show of the year? SummerSlam is the second biggest event of the year. So to have The Rock against John Cena again, another important thing is that Cena's just lost against The Rock last year at WrestleMania. And Cena's an active talent, but Rock isn't. So basically, they've sacrificed their biggest star to lose to someone who's not on their roster. And you need to basically make them look better again. And this is the perfect chance to do it at SummerSlam with everything on the line. The title's on the line, pride on the line. Rock versus Cena. Cena can beat The Rock finally and get over on him. We're also going to see D-Generation X. Do you know what that is? That's Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Do you remember any of them?
I know the names. I know who Triple X is just from...
Triple H.
Triple H? Who's Triple X?
Triple X was the Vin Diesel film.
Oh, yeah, no. Triple H, only because he's like a well-known name that I've heard. But if he walked past me on the street, I wouldn't recognise him.
That's true. He looks a bit like Sean Bean does in Lord of the Rings 1. It looks a bit like that. But yeah, we've got DX. We've also got Brock Lesnar coming back. Now, Brock Lesnar was this young destroyer. When he was about 22, 23 years old, he was like 18 stone, full of muscle and all this. So WWE hired him straight away and said, this guy, look at him. He looks like a 30-year-old man. He looks like a 30-year-old man in his prime. He's only 22 years old. Let's make this guy... Let's make him the future of our company, because he's got so long in. So they pushed loads of stuff onto him. He got massive. And then he left. He left them in the lurch. He's come back now, and he's building up the storyline with Triple H, where he's going to accept a match at SummerSlam. Again, it's going to be another massive thing. We could have Lesnar, Triple H, and Rock Cena at SummerSlam. This could be a huge card. Also, and Ziggler versus Jericho. Also, we got Bret Hart coming back, one of my personal favourite wrestlers of all time, and maybe The Undertaker. So it's shaping up. You know The Undertaker, don't you?
Yeah, that's the first one I knew.
So yeah, it's shaping up to be a pretty good show next week. I'm looking forward to it. Amy's kind of looking forward to it. The thing is, Amy's not going to watch it.
No.
Because I'm not going to be with her next Monday.
But if I was with you, then I would watch it.
Well, there you go. Maybe we can watch it somewhere down the line. But as this video is over now, let me know what you think. My playbook is out of battery, so we couldn't do it on there. So we're doing it on the webcam, so excuse the mouth tracking might be a little off. But yeah, anyone who stuck with it all the way through, thank you very much. It's been 18, almost 90 minutes by the time I finished. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe up above, like it down below, and comment in the comment box and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think of videos with Amy, her input. If you think that we shouldn't have Amy on anymore, then say no more Amy, because I know all of you think that I'm better than Amy, obviously. Apart from the one person who wrote last time, Amy is greater than Adam, which, you know... Anyway, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. Comment down below, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.